Let's take some calls, huh? Vince in the city on Willard and Dibs. Hey, Vince, what you doing?
Hey, what's up, guys? On my way home from work. But I called in because I wanted to talk about, and I can't believe we're talking about the ninth guy on the roster right now, but Kevon Looney. There's been a lot of tape and a lot of film that's been posted of Kevon Looney's play in high school and in college where he was actually a bucket. And I know that the competition's different, but I feel like putting the ball through the hoop is not a skill that just evaporates out of nowhere. So, and I know that that's not his role on this team, but there's a lot of times where he's open, free throw line extended or around, and he's not even really looking to shoot, where there's clearly tape where he could put the ball down. I don't know why he doesn't do it. I feel like Draymond shied away from scoring opportunities, and this year he's kind of resurged with that. He's being a little bit more aggressive on the offensive end, and I think you're not getting an effective use out of Saric. I just don't like Saric, to be honest, but I think you would get more substance and more use out of Kevon Looney in place of Saric's minutes if Kevon Looney could go back to what he was doing in high school and in college when he's getting those wide open looks. Do you guys think that's something that he can do kind of the same way that Draymond has, or no?
For a while I did, but Vince, I think I've changed my mind. Thanks for the call. By the way, quick aside, isn't it interesting what happened to Dario Saric? 40 games into the season, there was not a Warrior fan that didn't love the signing. And now people seem to want him, get off the floor.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Well, and part of it was the Chris Paul injury, I think, took him out of his flow. And then the Warriors, some things started to turn away from him a little bit. He looked like he lost his shot a little bit. He's not hitting at the same level. So, yeah, it's been a tough look for him lately. I don't think that you can throw him out yet. I still think he's got a portion of this Warriors season left. But the bigger question he's asking about Kevon Looney, I don't think that he can confidently stroke the 15 or 20-footer anymore. And it will forever be a huge mystery to me because I've never seen a player look in the NBA this different as opposed to what he looked like in college. If you go back and watch Kevon Looney at UCLA, I swear to you, it'll take you 7 minutes of staring at the screen before you even believe it's Kevon Looney.
I get it.
You're like, what? That's Kevon Looney? This guy used to dribble, pull up, turn around, jump shot from 20 feet, like a completely different skill set. And so it's not that he can't do it, but he doesn't. It's kind of like pitchers in baseball. Usually the pitchers, when you're coming up through youth baseball and high school and everything, pitchers are the best players. Therefore, they're the best hitters too. Something happens in the minor leagues where they're like, okay, don't hit anymore. And they get to the bigs and look like Johnny Cueto. It's just like, why? Like, what happened? And maybe Shohei will change that a little bit, where guys can pitch and hit too. But I think Kevon,
I doubt it.
I think Kevon can't do it anymore because he doesn't do it anymore.
Well, there's a couple different things to that. First and foremost, Kevon Looney in UCLA was only a Kevon Looney who had, I think, an ACL surgery, a knee issue. He came into the association and he had hip surgery. And hip surgery, as our colleague, Matt Steinmetz, who was a good basketball player in his day, and now he's not in the association, but it's very debilitating, especially when it comes to trying to be a guy who's going to elevate. And Kevon Looney's only 6'9", and he's trying to play center against much bigger and stronger and more athletic bigs. So he's already at a disadvantage, and now he can't move as well, and he can't jump. As far as him shooting goes, there is no possession ever, unless you get late in the clock, where the Kevon Looney 15-footer is going to be the best shot you can get. So, and he knows that. So if you're playing with Steph and Clay,
now, though, there was a time,
even early in his career, you're still playing with guys who
could do it.
He can do it, but it's still, if you're talking about getting the best shot on a possession, the Kevon Looney shot, unless he's at the cup, and even at the cup, it's a struggle. It's painful to watch him sometimes.
It is now, but it wasn't always that way. And there was a time where I really was like kind of encouraging the idea of more of that, because I thought if you look at Warrior basketball, you've known for years what Steph and Clay can do. When the Warriors were unbeatable, and I mean unbeatable, it was like when Draymond's hitting his shot. I was like, wait a minute. Draymond's hitting his shot, the opponent's got no chance. Because all of the focus is on Steph and Clay. If the Warriors, and I bet all fans will agree with this, if at any point, and there have been moments in their whole dynastic run, but in the last 3, 4, 5 years, if the Warriors had someone 6'10" or above who could just knock down the open 15-footer, oh my God, what a weapon. Because that guy's going to be left alone every possession. Every possession. And there were times earlier in their dynasty where they did have that. They did. They did have David West. You know, even before Draymond, they did have David Lee. And that wasn't a dynasty part. But you had guys who could knock that shot down. It was impossible to guard when Steph and Clay are on the court at the same time. So I loved the idea. There was a time where I loved the idea of Looney doing that, but it just never got really fostered. And now it seems like physically you're chasing, you're on a goose chase.
Yeah, and it still is not, even when you have Kevon out there, him shooting a 15-footer, if you're the other team playing defense, you're going to leave him open all day, every day.
All the time.
Because the contrary is Steph doing anything or Clay with a three, even Andrew Wiggins. You'd rather have Kevon shoot from the elbow than Kuminga shoot a three if you're on defense. And the Warriors did have a guy who you were describing, 6'9" and above, who could shoot the rock. And his name is Dario Saric. And I just looked at his game log because you had said earlier in this segment about it seems like he's kind of lost his way, and it seems like he isn't shooting the way he'd been shooting. And I went back to that Philadelphia game that I've been referencing. Warriors are 13-4, including that game. Dario is 4 for 29 from three over the course of those 17 games. 2 of the games he didn't play, but by and large, he's just not shooting the ball.
No, it's been
0 of 1, 0 of 1. He's only made multiple threes once in that 17-game stretch. And if you go back earlier in the year, and I'm kind of cherry-picking games, but there's a 3 for 5 from three, a 4 of 7, a 3 of 11, a 3 of 7, but he was shooting it.
He was really good. Well, part of that is...
Even when he was missing, he was shooting it.
Part of it is that his minutes have gone down. So fewer minutes, fewer shots. Part of it is that. He's also never been... He's not the 15-footer guy. He likes to either get to the cup or shoot a three.
Right.
He's very much an analytics basketball player. And he was getting 20, 25 minutes a night alongside... Maybe not 25, but he's getting 20 minutes a night alongside Chris Paul, and he's getting a lot of good looks. Feels like he's got to work harder for them now. Feels like he is just in a rut, and that has led to 20 minutes turning into 10, and now you get 1, maybe 2 shots a game, and it's really hard to get into a flow, and you miss a couple, and you go sit down, and that's it. And he's had a bunch of those. I feel like he's had a bunch of goose eggs lately in points.
Yeah.
What are his point totals last 10 games?
Oh, for the last 10?
Yeah, 10 games for Dario. What's he got?
Oh, geez, it's not pretty. Going backward, it is 4-2-0, 5-4-2, 4-7, 0-0-0. 0-0-0.
So you got 4 zeros and no double digits?
No, his last double digi was at Indiana. He had 11 in a game they won by 22, which I believe some of those points were... Yeah, it smells like garbage. Garbage time.
Yeah.
But he's really, and going back to, he had 5 straight games in double digits in early January, 12, 12, 13, 10, and 14. And then he got to a spot where, you're right, Mark, it's, you can't score when you don't play, and you can't play when you don't score. So is it chicken or the egg with Dario? Whatever it was, he fell out of favor. TJD took his minutes. Kevon has been steady, getting about 10 or 12 no matter what, and I think that he still is going to get those minutes.
Well, no one worries about his stats anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
You're not looking to him to shoot the three. I think he's made 1 3
in his life?
In his career, yeah. I think
in his pro life, yeah.
Yeah. So Dario was brought in to be that stretch 5, a guy who could, run the pick and pop and shoot the three, but once he hit that skid, there's really no sense in playing him if he's not going to be able to score.
Now I'm looking that up. How many three-pointers does he have in his career? Kevon?
I want to say it is 1.
It is... Oh, no, he's got much more than that.
Oh, my fault. A bunch more
than that.
Oh, he's got 10. Sorry.
10.
My fault.
10 for 60.
Not bad.
5, not 6, not
Jordan Poole dreams about those numbers.
2020
That was mean-spirited.
2020-21 season, he attempted 17 threes.
Ridiculous.
What the hell are you doing, Kevon?
Light it up, Kay. Looney! Haven't heard that one from Tim Roy.
He went 1 of 2 in his rookie year, and he was like, I'm a 50% three-point shooter, so you best start making a little space for me.
Let Looney eat.
Yep.
That was in 5 games. Cut short by the hip injury I mentioned. If you just Google Kevon Looney injury, like 7 different things pop up. And that was all early in his career, and I do think that robbed him of any athleticism that he once had.
Yeah.
The hip especially.
He's attempted 3 threes since the pandemic.
Yeah.
Missed them all.
Yeah, come on.
Maybe tonight's the night.